Right, good morning everyone. Now I do have to share with you this that I'm working on. Let me see. That's not part of it. Sorry. It is a caravan. Now, I've tried to work out and I'm hoping I've got everything right. Let me just show you, because it was a hard thing to actually do, and I probably would change it the next time we do one. But what we've got here, so let me just show you. And I have to show you this. I'm so thrilled with this. I've done an outside loop like I did with my caravan, not the ones I did for my nephews, the gypsy caravans, not that, just a normal caravan. And what I made was an outside toilet, and it fit in a box that we did, a room. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do an outside toilet. I'm going to do an old-fashioned one, portable sort of thing. And I had to make a toilet seat and a chain. And I've managed to do it. They're just drying, so just bear with me. But look, I took hold of one of these. Let me just show you what I'm saying. I took hold of one of those. I shaped it into a handle, then cut it off and glued it onto the chain. And then I did two little discs, one smaller than the other, and glued the other end of the chain to that, and that sits on the side of the toilet. I just think it's so awesome. That's just me. I quite chuffed with myself what I did. And then this is the toilet seat. That will be the front, and sorry, that's the back. And this bit will be cut out, and the pipe will go from there up into the base of the box that sits at the top. If anybody used to have an old-fashioned toilet, the older ones will remember them, and used to pull the chain. Remember? It used to be on the side, we used to pull it. And the way I've done the toilet seat, which is still drying, so it's not quite ready, when I've cut this bit out for the pipe, that's this was the outside toilets, and it's how they looked. So I've managed to use the wood glue. I've glued on a circle. They're all hand cut, but then, and I'm going to do a little bit more of the glue when that's dry to make it more of a seat. It looked like a plastic seat. And that sits on the box, and then you've got that inside of a unit, so you know, like a toilet, and like an outdoor toilet, like a portable one. So I'm thrilled because it does look like a seat. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on top, and then that will make it look perfect, like a proper plastic seat. So that's that. Thrilled with it. Thrilled with that as well. And you just glue that onto the side. So I'm thrilled with that. Now, this is the caravan itself. And I have to say, let me just get this right. So we have the base. That is the base of the caravan. This is the caravan that sits on top of that base, and that's the base of the caravan itself. So you'll have that sitting on top, which has left a gap all the way around. Then you'll have that there, so it's quite a big caravan. Let me just get this right. That sits at the front. That's the left side. Yeah, I've scored it. That is the left side of the caravan, and you'll see that fits onto there, and it's really hard for me to hold, but then because I've scored it, it'll turn in like that, so you'll glue it all in. And then this big piece that I had before with the window is the right hand side. It's all been scored, and that sits on there. Sorry, that sits on top. It's this section. So it sits on there. Let me just get this right. The window's here on the end. So it'll sit like that, juts up against that, and that fastens in, and you'll glue it all down like that, and then that section goes and joins it. And then just put a little plinth. I'll put a plinth in that you just glue between that one and that one. You won't see it's on the inside, it's on the lid section. So if you understand what I'm saying, I hope so, because it's really hard to do this one. So that's the base of the actual caravan. Like I say, that sits in there. This will sit over it like that. Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? Yeah, like that. See? A little bit hard for you to see it. And then you've got this window here, which is a tall window, because it's only a small caravan, remember. It's only as wide as that. So that's that. That's those pieces and that. And then on this piece, on this section, this bit, which is the front of the caravan, you then have these sections that sit there. You'll have one there, and I couldn't cut it as one full piece, unfortunately, so we do have a little bit that sits in there. But when you've added your glue to it and that sits there like that, it does fit, because I measured it. See, like that. And then if you just get a little bit of glue, doesn't matter whether it's hot glue or use wood glue if you can, and just fill in the gaps, and or a little bit of paste once you've glued it on, smooth it off, and then you just paint it as one. But yeah, so that sits in there. And then there is a window here, and I've put in a little kit. What's this one say? Oh, window divider. So this one here, if you wanted to add a divider in that window there, you can do that there. But you don't have to. So that's if you want to do that. Now, I'm just going to move all these bits out the way. I did mine, a couple of years ago, was it? Something like that. And they do take time, so you have to be patient with these. Now, with all of this, these are the bits you're going to get as well. So, the sink unit. Now, I'll have to explain this, so you've got it on video and you can just follow the instructions from here. So this is a sink unit, but you've got to put the sink together as well. So I've glued these already for you. That's the sink. Underneath that is a gap. And for that, we have... that's a shelf. We don't want that one. That's the base. So I'll cut that for you. Ready. That's what I needed to do. Oops. Was to put the sink drainage in, which is that. Let's just see. Sink shelf. Right. So this is the back of the sink. If you've got your sink like that, that will be the back of the sink. Cut to size. I've left it like that, but you just trim them to the size you want. Like that. That is the front of the sink. So cut to size again. And do them before you put your middles in. And these are the sink ends. So you'll have those two like that. And then you'll have the ends of the sink there. Trim them. And then you just drop in that. And then that will sit into the unit. So make your sink up first. And I've tried to leave on certain things a little bit longer to give you enough room to play with. You might want to do it on top of it or whatever, but it's up to you. Anyway, and that's the other sink end. So then we've got the unit. So that will sit then on top of that. And remember, because the sink's going to be here, you'll need to cut in the divider, the sink divider, like that. You might need to cut out a little gap, depending on, or cut that down, depending on where your sink's going to be. See, like that. So that's the divider. It actually sits underneath. That's the back of the sink. That's the front door. Like I say, and that sits on top of that one like it's on a frame. and then the sink divider and sides, which are there. That's your door that sits on there like that, so you've got like just a little bit of an edging, and then your handle will go there, and that sits there like that. 2 shelves for that unit, and so you'll have your end, your divider, your end, and then they sit between like that. Right, I've just completed that for you, so that's now done. So you've got the seat and the cushion, you've got the bench front which goes there, the piece goes to the back, and then you've got the sides, and they'll be cut to size. It's got on it cut to size, because I don't know how tall you actually want your seating. I mean, you can't go any taller than that anyway, so that'll fit in there, but I've left them long enough for you to snip, and the rest is all as it should be. So that's the bench, and that bench goes with the where are we, this. I'll just put that piece away. So that bench sits in front of this unit. Now this unit is your bench. So that's the back of the seat. You'll have that. Yes, I've done 2 different kinds of card, because one has to be slightly strong or stronger. And I've just used up the card I have. But that sits like that. That goes in there, and I've marked off where it should sit. And sit that in there. Now you might want to put that at the front of the card or at the side, but it'll have to be the length of that anyway. So that sits in like that. Let me just see if I can hold this. It's a little bit hard, but oh. So it sits like that, that's like that, and that's like that. And then that's your cushion that goes on that, and that's the bit that goes on the front of the seat. Very, very simple and easy to put together. So that's that. And then you've got a table that goes in between that and the bench I've just shown you. So that's that one. Table. Here's the table for you. Now, oops, I've done it double, just because it's not very thick card. So, table, glue to table 2, and that's table 2. You just glue the 2 together. You can shape them. It's that way actually. Yeah, that's it. I've put those legs, so you can just glue those on. There and there, and then these bars. Make sure that these are sat, you know, that with that. So you actually, I glue them on first. Glue the 2 legs on first. Use like a wood glue. Oh, you won't be there. Sorry, it'll be there, won't it? So glue those on first. Try and get them level. And then when they're glued on, just glue your legs onto your table, and you've 2 lots like that. Very, very easy to do. And that sits between the back seat and the front bench. What's that? Oh, that's for the sink. What's it doing out? Don't want to lose that. That's the sink bit. So that's that bit. Then we've done a wardrobe. Again, basic. If you want to add things to it, that's up to you. This is just a basic kit for you to, you know, do yourself. So we've got the wardrobe back, we've got the wardrobe front, sorry, the wardrobe side, and then the doors. And I've done it so that the doors, left and right, fit like that. So it just gives it a nice finish, and that sits like that with the sides there. And I've just got the top to put on, so I'll do that now. Back of your wardrobe, front of your wardrobe, your 2 sides, that's that one and that one, and then a front door which I've left with a gap all the way around, And if you want to use it, so if you want to make it so that you can put a shelving in, then cut this as a frame like we've done before and still put your doors on the frame like that. Where is it gone? That one. See, like that? But if you cut that out as a frame, then glue that onto the front, onto the sides and the back, like that. See? And then there your top and your bottom that go on there, like that. So you've got, sorry I didn't write them on, top, base, like that. So that's those. A wardrobe. And you don't have to have them where they open, not in a caravan. This is a set of drawers, again very basic, very similar. So you've got the back, the front, the 4 drawers, the top, the base and the 2 sides. Really quick and easy to put together, folks, honest they are. Now, for your window on the caravan itself, you know, on the outside, on the right, showed you that tall window. Well, that's your frame inside and out. So you just cut them to size. Because you can just put them like that, just jut them up against each other like that. So glue 2 pieces on and cut the other one to fit top and bottom. So glue the sides first, inside and out, and then you can just attach the top ones when you've cut them to size. I leave them long enough because you might want to leave a little gap all the way around. I don't know. Right, now this is a little kitchen unit. You've got the back of the unit, you've got the top of the unit. This can be cut down if it's too wide for you, but you've got that. You've got a top shelf, you've got a bottom shelf, a base, and the sides. Like that, okay? So that's another one. Bottom is size, side, so that's the side of the unit, cut to size, last. So when you've done your unit and put all that together, then you know how long you need that. Okay, for the sides. So that's that one. Sorry. So that's a kitchen unit. I managed to do a little dish. Now, really this chipboard, this kind of chipboard, you're not supposed to be able to bend it and things like that because it does break. But because I crease it first and then I use the wood glue once I've got the shape of the dish, I slit the sides, slit the corners, and then I glue them, and it makes a little dish for the table. You put like fruit in it or something like that. So I do try and make little things to help you if you've not got any miniatures. And we add a few bits and pieces in as well. Now this is the flower box, just a basic flower box that sits on the front window of this section. Oops, let me just show you. See that section? That box will fit here. Let me just move that to one side. So that's the window box. And this is a mirror for the inside. So basically, I've just cut a two pieces of card, one smaller than the other. That's the other second one. And then you've got this, peel that off the blue, and I've drawn on it the size of that mirror. So then you can glue that onto that and that onto that one. And you've got a mirror for your caravan. And the last bit here, well, it's not the last bit because there's the outside loo. So here's the bed. Now, I've done it so the bed, and I'm going to write on it, you might, well, it's up to you actually. I've done it so the bed, that's the caravan, and the bed sits there in that corner. You have a unit here, the bed there, like the dressing table here and drawers, the bed there. You might have your wardrobe there, your sink unit, and your table and chairs here. So it's up to you how you design it in your particular caravan, however you want to have it. Oh, that's just the rug. So the headboard is done like this. Now, it's not as wide as that because you don't need it as wide. You can have your bedding on as well. But the headboard has a second piece. And the reason why I've done that is because you can take this, you pop that on there, you cut that to size, then when you put your material on that, put it onto the headboard and just cut your material slightly bigger than that. And then you can pop that on and it'll sit perfectly and give you a spring like that for a headboard. You might want to cut this down more, but there's enough of that to fit that. The shelf above the bed, so I'll put a shelf in above the bed, and they're the little bits for the shelf to hold the shelf up. And then because you've got a little window frame and you've got your little, so inside or outside you've got enough here to do the window frame. So there's 4 pieces there to cut to size. Do the side ones first and then do the top. Okay, so you've got that as well, and I've popped it in there with the bed, and then you've got a rug, so you can actually cover that with fabric and then put a lace around it, and that'll make it look like you've got a rug. So that is that. Let me just, come on, Fee. So that goes in there. That all goes in there, and you want that. And then you've got that and that. It's an old-fashioned one. It's old-fashioned caravan and old-fashioned toilet. So let me just see if this is ready. Yeah, that's dry. But, like I say, bear with me. Oh, I love doing stuff like this. And you can really make this look old, you know, 1950s, 1960s, even 1940s. So I've given you this paper, because the building itself, the unit, that'll sit outside the caravan, obviously. Or you can actually put this in the garden if you don't want to use it for the caravan. Just put it in, you know, if you want to make an outside garden, old-fashioned garden. So you've got the brick paper, but it's double-sided, so you can choose whichever. So that's to cover the walls on the outside of the toilet. Because I know I've put it in because I thought it was cute. I had a toilet with mine and I loved it, but mine was done with wood planks. But you've got, let's have a look, the back of the toilet, the side of the toilet. Okay, so you'll have that like that. So that's that bit, and then you've got the loo door, which you will and then I decided to do it this way. So you can either have the loo door like that with a handle on and just leave it like that, or you can do what I did, and see that? You glue that to the frame of that. So you have your sides like that. So that's the sides, and it'll glue to make your whole unit. And then you can fix that, put marks where you might want to put hinges, and do that. A little bit of cloth on the back will make that. That's easy. And that fits perfectly, that door, so it will close. But I thought it'd be ideal to do that and open the door. And then inside you're going to have the tank. So you've got, oh, and that's to go on the front of the loo. So, there we go. Once you've built that, that sits at the floor. Sit that in first. So your toilet's going to be like that. Because it's an old-fashioned one. Cut this to size. If you want to cut that down a bit, if it's too tall, do that. Then fit that in. Right? And that's the loo. It's the old-fashioned loo. And you can then do a roll of tissue paper there. The tank, if people will remember the tank, you could, if you wanted to shape that slightly, just to give it a little bit of a shape. I've left a gap there for you to shape it. Cut this to size. Base. Cut to size. I've left it because I don't know if you want to have a lip around it like you're going to have on that. See a little lip there? And then they'll sit on top. So you need to glue the front and the back to the sides first and then sit them on there. But don't have them too wide, or you know, you can't have them too wide. They need to be like that. And then that sits on top, see, like that. And then put the base on and then cut it to size. So that's that. Tank, sides, ×2. And then what you do is, with your chain, you glue that onto there. And you've got your little toilet. I thought it was so cute. And I've handmade that. I had to use a little rod and make that. So I'm thrilled at that, to be honest. I really am. Just go gentle with it all. Yeah, I'm thrilled with that. Now, if you don't want to do it brick and you want to do it, let's put that in so we don't. I need to put that into a tiny little bag on its own. I don't want you to lose that. Like that. If you don't want to do the brickwork one, and you'd much prefer to have a wooden shed kind of toilet outside, then I'm going to give you some of this, but we need one that's not, it's got to look like it's miniature. Miniature sort of. Yeah, that's the only problem with these papers. But I'm going to do that. We'll just give you those, because you can do that as a colour side, or that, and then draw a line in between. You can do 2 lines in between and make them look like brick. Okay, so you've got, and I've cut that the wrong way, look. Never mind, that's the better one anyway. So I've just put either paper in that you can use. You can always paint over it, you can always put a little dash of white over it as well. So that is the toilet, and I love that. I think it's really cute. So that's the caravan, and I hope you enjoy putting it together, whoever gets it. So now I'm just going to pop all these bits together in a bag. Let me just see if I've got another bag. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to lose any of them or break them. So that goes in there as well. And then you've got all of this. So it will have to go in a large envelope as well. Okay, so that is a caravan kit if anybody's interested. So that's that one, and I'll be back in a minute.